Gently down the stream.
row your boat gently down the stream. Your
Merrily,
boat
gently down the stream.
row your boat gently down the stream. Oh dear. Peter, I love your enthusiasm, but I did not expect it, so it totally derailed me. Should I rather sing a bit softer? Maybe, yes. Ah, salve a tutti e benvenuti.
Hello everyone and welcome. We have been reminiscing about our trip to Italy.
Yes, it already feels like it was only a dream. Oh, but it was wonderful. We went for a ride in a gondola in the city of Venice. And we went to the museum in Arezzo, where we saw and learned more about Guido de Arezzo, the monk from lesson 12. We also visited the ancient city of Rome, where we saw so many things, including the Colosseum, St. Peter's Cathedral, and the Sistine Chapel. It was so worth flying there. Oh, yes, it was. Thank you, Peter, for making the trip possible.
Yes, Peter, we are fortunate to have a pilot in our midst. Venice, the city of canals and gondolas, is also the city where the famous composer Antonio Vivaldi was born about 350 years ago. When we were in Venice, we also visited the orphanage where Vivaldi spent many years working amongst the orphans. Those orphans learned how to play an instrument and formed an orchestra for which Vivaldi composed many of his pieces. You may be familiar with one of them. It is called The Four Seasons. And speaking about composing, we still need to find out from Casper how he composed the melody for Casper's song, the one that he brought along in lesson 21. So, Casper, how do we write a melody?
Well, my starting point was the C major scale. When I saw that the song Upon Paul's Steeple had the C major scale as part of the melody, in fact, it comes up 3 times, I wanted to try writing a melody with the C major scale too. Since you had just taught us how to play the C major scale on the recorder, I had also noticed that the song had steps, skips, and leaps in it, using the notes of the C major scale. At the beginning, the C major scale comes down in steps. Then it takes a skip from line to line. That is, the melody skips up over the space between the 2 lines. Then there is a step up, then another skip up, this time from space to space, and then the melody leaps down, then it leaps up again. So, between the major scale, we have some skips and leaps for variety before the next downward C major scale. So I thought, let me try it. It can't be that difficult. I didn't want to write the same melody, so I decided to start by playing the C major scale from the bottom up, like running up steps. I thought the first 5 notes already sounded good, like running up 5 steps, jumping back down and running up again. Yes, your melody only has the whole C major scale at the end.
It is a good idea to start your melody with the note that gives the scale its name, in this case, the C major scale, especially if you're new to composing. C is like the home of the C major scale. When you end the melody on C, it feels like you have come home. It feels finished. So your melody started at home on C, went up the hills and down into valleys, and eventually arrived at home again.
Your melody also has repetition in it, like the songs of the birds.
That is also a feature of a good melody, Peter. It connects the different parts of a melody with one another. We call a short little section like that, which gets repeated in a composition, a motif.
Yes, I also read somewhere that the first half of a melody is like the question and the second half is like the answer. So, Casper thought of all the important elements that make a good melody. He chose a scale from which to take the notes to build a melody. He started on the home note and ended on the home note, in this case C. He had steps, skips and jumps in his melody. He had a short motif which he repeated, and his melody had a question and an answer part.
That was a perfect summary of all the things to remember when writing a melody, Miss Piggy.
And he used running notes, hop notes and dong notes, otherwise known as eighth notes, quarter notes and half notes.
I'm curious to see if these steps were also applied to the song Row, Row, Row Your Boat. Shall we have a look at it? And after we have checked, we can try to sing it again.
I would love to have a closer look at the melody of Row, Row, Row Your Boat. Maybe it will give me some new ideas.
Which scale is it based on? And does it start and end on the home note of that scale?
It is also written in the C major scale. It starts and ends on C.
There is repetition in the notes. For example, the first note is repeated 3 times before the melody moves up. And then we have rhythms that are repeated, like the half note and the quarter note. Half note, quarter note, half note, quarter note. And the group of 3 quarter notes are repeated when the melody moves down again towards the end.
The first half of the melody moves up like a question and then down again for the answer.
And there are steps and skips and jumps in the melody. So now we know why we enjoy singing and playing it, because it has all the elements of a good melody in it. I will play through it once so that you can see how the fingering on the recorder goes, because I will leave a link below this video for you to print and play it. And then we can try singing it as a round again. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream.
Row your boat
Gently
down
the
the stream.
your boat. Mirror
gently down the stream, merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Life is but a dream.
That went much better. Yes, it did. And if you want to play row, row, row your boat as a round with a friend, then the first person has to start playing the first line alone. And when the first person gets to the second row, the second person begins at the beginning of the song, and then together you play in beautiful harmonies. Next time, we will try and compose a melody together. In the meantime, you could try making up your own melodies on your recorder. Just play whatever comes to mind and have fun doing it. That sounded like the question part of the melody. I wonder what the answer should sound like. Until then, goodbye. Arrivederci.
Goodbye.